The hidden truth about health, why most people stay stuck, and how to break free. Let me take you into a conversation I had, one that completely transformed how I think about health, the body, and the pursuit of well-being. It all started on one of those calm, late afternoons where the sun begins to sink and everything around you slows down. I was sitting with my old friend Michael, someone who's lived a very different kind of life, a thinker, a philosopher, someone who never rushed into the trends of the world but always sought deeper understanding. As we sat quietly, watching the gentle ripples on the lake in front of us, Michael suddenly spoke, in that calm and steady voice of his. "You know," he said, "at the core of it all, I just want to enjoy a healthy body." I nodded. Simple words. Words we've all probably said or thought at some point. Who doesn't want that? To wake up every morning feeling light, energized, free in their own skin. But Michael wasn't done. He leaned forward, his eyes narrowing as though he was about to reveal something far more significant. "But you see," he continued, "most people have no idea what that really means, and even less of an idea how to get there. The two deep reasons why your body is always on your mind." Michael began unfolding his perspective in a way that made me rethink so many things I thought I already knew. There are two major reasons, he said, why health, and particularly the state of your physical body, plays such a dominant role in your life, and why it's often the source of both your greatest desires and your deepest frustrations. First, he explained, your body is your constant companion. There is not a single moment of your existence where you are separate from it. You take it with you everywhere, to work, to relationships, to vacations, to your dreams, your failures, your moments of joy and pain. Because of that, your awareness of it is non-stop. Even when you're not consciously thinking about your body, your subconscious is always processing how you feel physically. Are you tired? Are you energetic? Is there discomfort? Is there ease? Second, he went on, your body becomes the lens through which you experience absolutely everything in your life. Every thought, every perception, every emotion is colored by how you feel physically. If you're exhausted, the world looks darker. If you're full of energy, everything feels lighter, more hopeful, more manageable. I sat back, already sensing how deep this rabbit hole was going to go. The mind-body split, the source of modern confusion. Michael then pointed to something that, once he said it, seemed so obvious, but I had never quite seen it so clearly before. The real problem, he said, is that for generations we've been taught to think of the body and the mind as two separate things. Medicine sliced the human being into compartments, the body as a machine of flesh and bones, and the mind as some distant observer floating above it. But this was always an incomplete model. Science has made enormous advances in understanding biology, anatomy, and biochemistry, but it's been much slower to fully recognize how profoundly our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs directly affect our bodies. And because this connection has been underappreciated, he said, most people have been left with nothing but confusion. They're drowning in contradictory advice, one day being told that fats are the enemy, the next day being told fats are essential. One week, the miracle cure is fasting. The next, it's 5 small meals a day. Supplements rise and fall in popularity like fashion trends. It's no wonder people feel like they're constantly chasing their tails. The problem with copying others. Michael leaned in closer, lowering his voice as though revealing a secret most people don't realize. And here's where most people go wrong, he said. They try to copy what works for others. They study other people's diets, routines, regimens, and believe that if they simply follow the same steps, they'll achieve the same results. But that's like trying to navigate your hometown using a map of a country you've never visited. It simply doesn't reflect your personal terrain, your history, your emotions, your beliefs, your upbringing, your unique biology. What worked for someone else was aligned with their personal energy, their beliefs, their emotional state, and their life story. But you are not them. I could feel the weight of his words sinking in. How many times had I tried to follow someone else's secret formula, only to be frustrated when it didn't work for me the way it worked for them? The role of belief, desire, and expectation. Michael continued, every person's alignment is a unique combination of beliefs, desires, expectations, and influences, both past and present. And because of that, there can never be a universal remedy that works for everyone all the time. That's why you see people endlessly bouncing from one method to another, often becoming more confused and disheartened over time. They're treating the symptoms while ignoring the source, which is their own internal misalignment. True health doesn't come from chasing endless external solutions. It comes from returning to yourself, from reconnecting with your own inner wisdom, your own emotional guidance system. The emotional guidance system, your inner compass. Michael paused here and smiled, as though he was about to reveal something even more important. You see, he said, your emotions are not random. They are a real-time feedback system, constantly signaling to you how aligned or misaligned you are with your true self. When you feel good, not just momentary pleasure, but real peace, clarity, satisfaction, that's your internal guidance system telling you that your thoughts and beliefs are in harmony with your true nature. And when you feel anxiety, frustration, or unease, that's not a signal that something is wrong with the world. It's a signal that something is out of alignment within you. And that inner misalignment, if left unchecked, often begins to manifest physically as tension, fatigue, illness, or chronic conditions. The body is simply following the vibration of the mind. Why health is a reflection, not a goal. Then Michael said something that was perhaps the most revolutionary idea of all. Your physical body, he said, is not the cause of your wellness or illness. It is the reflection of your state of alignment. It's the outward evidence of your inner relationship with yourself. When you bring your mind, your beliefs, and your focus into alignment with your higher self, your inner being, your body naturally follows. It begins to heal, to balance, to restore itself without being forced. You don't make your body healthy. You allow it to be healthy by removing the resistance created by fear, doubt, and confusion. Health isn't something you chase, it's something you allow. The endless stream of contradictory advice. And that, Michael said, is why the world is full of diets that work for one person but fail for another. That's why one person thrives on a certain method while another person feels worse following the exact same regimen. The confusion comes because people are listening to external voices instead of listening to the voice that matters most, their own inner guidance. And sadly, many have become so disconnected from that inner voice that they don't even recognize it anymore. They've handed over their authority to experts, systems, and fads, losing touch with the truth that was always inside them. The path back to alignment. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Michael's voice softened, but his words became even more powerful. So what's the answer? He asked, almost rhetorically. The answer is to return home, to yourself. Begin noticing how you feel. Pay attention to the subtle emotional signals that arise when you think certain thoughts or make certain choices. These signals are your clearest and most honest feedback system. When your thoughts bring you peace, hope, excitement, and ease, you're moving toward alignment. When your thoughts create anxiety, dread, or frustration, you're drifting away from alignment. And as you practice realigning your thoughts with your inner wisdom, your body will begin to mirror that shift. Healing becomes natural, ease returns, and your relationship with your body transforms. The real secret to a healthy body. As we stood up to leave, Michael left me with these final words that have since become my compass. Health, he said, is not about controlling your body. It's about aligning your mind. When your mind and inner being are in harmony, your body simply reflects that harmony. And that is the secret most people will never hear in a world obsessed with fixing the body while neglecting the mind. If this story resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe. And most importantly, take a moment today to listen to your own inner guidance. The answers you've been seeking may already be inside you.